Welcome to the Victor Korua Human Experience Podcast. Here, we share stories that touch our hearts, challenging our thinking, and open our eyes to see the world differently. From personal journeys to powerful conversations, this is a space for truth, empathy, and reflection. Because every story matters, and every human experience has the power to change us. Your host, Victor Okorua. Let's dive in.
You know what's strange about life? Sometimes the hardest thing is not failing. It's beginning again. Starting over sounds inspirational when people post quotes online. New beginning, fresh start, reinvent yourself. But in real life, starting over is terrifying because starting over often comes after something painful. A divorce, losing a job, leaving your country, a business collapse, a heartbreak, a dream that didn't work out. And suddenly, you are standing in the middle of your life asking yourself, what now? Today, we are talking about the fear of starting over and why so many people around the world are silently struggling with it. Welcome to the Victor Korua Human Experience Podcast. The life you thought you did have. Most people don't expect their life to change dramatically. We make plans. We imagine stability. We think, I marry once, I keep this career, I will stay in this country, I will figure life out by 30. Then, life shows up. Interesting plan, but absolutely not. And suddenly, everything changes. The marriage ends. The company downsizes. You move to another country where nobody knows you or knows your name. You wake up one day realizing that the version of yourself you built doesn't even feel like you anymore. And that realization that can break people emotionally. Human beings love familiarity, even painful familiarity. That's why some people stay in unhappy marriages, stay in toxic jobs, stay in environments that destroy them. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because uncertainty feels scary. Losing the future you imagine. Let's talk about divorce for a moment. One of the hardest parts isn't just losing a partner, it's losing the future you imagine. The plans, the routine, the identity. Suddenly you are not me anymore. You are just you. And people don't talk enough about how deeply that affects someone psychologically. Especially when society makes people feel like starting over means failure. But listen carefully. A relationship ending does not mean your life ends. Sometimes people outgrow each other. Sometimes love changes. Sometimes people stay together physically while emotionally separated for years. And sometimes living is not weakness. Sometimes living is survival. There are people rebuilding themselves at 50, at 60, at 70. Life does not expire because one chapter ended. Starting from zero again. Now let's talk about career change. This one scares people deeply because many of us were taught choose one path and stay there forever. But the world changes. The world changed. People are leaving career they studied for 10 years. Lawyers become content creators. Bankers become farmers. Engineers learning AI. Teachers starting business. And honestly, sometimes the scariest part isn't the new job. It's people's opinion. What if I fail? What if, what will people say? What if I am too old? What if I wasted my life? But here's the truth. Nobody says enough. You are allowed to evolve. The person you were 10 years ago is not required to remain forever. And sometimes your next chapter only begins. when you stop trying to save the old one. Moving to another country can also feel like starting from zero. New culture, new language, new system, new loneliness. People online often show the glamorous side, the airport photos, the smile, the new beginning. But many immigrants quietly struggle with emotionally because sometimes you leave home searching for opportunity and accidentally lose familiarity, identity, community, and peace. You become the new person again. And you know how exhausting it is to constantly rebuild yourself, to prove yourself again, to make new friends again, to start financially again. Some people cry silently in apartments nobody sees, and yet they keep moving. That strength deserves respect. Reinventing yourself. Now, here is the hardest kind of starting over. Reinventing yourself. Why people still expect the old version of you? That's difficult because people become comfortable with who you used to be. The quiet one, the struggling one, the insecure one, the broke one, the people pleaser. And when you begin changing, some people become uncomfortable. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are, but because you're good. Reminds them they stayed the same. Reinvention is lonely sometimes. You lose old habits, old friends, old identity. You begin asking, what do I actually want? What kind of life feels real to me? Who am I without fear? And honestly, those questions can change everything. Why starting over feels so painful? Do you know why starting over hurts so much? Because human brain loves certainty, even miserable certainty. At least it is familiar. Starting over forces you into the unknown, and the unknown is uncomfortable. You don't know if things will work out. You don't know who you will become. You don't know if the risk is worth it. But every meaningful transformation in life usually begins with uncertainty. Every confident person was once confused. Every successful person once looked ridiculous. Every strong person once felt broke. Nobody skips the uncomfortable beginning. Maybe your life is not falling apart. Maybe it is rearranging itself. Maybe this painful season is not punishment. Maybe it's transition. And yes, transition feels ugly sometimes. There are moments where nothing makes sense. You are no longer who you used to be, but not yet who you are becoming. That space, that uncomfortable middle, that's where reinvention happens. So, if you are listening right now and you are scared to begin again, scared after divorce, scared after failure, scared after moving, scared after losing everything familiar, I want you to remember something. Starting over is not proof that you failed. Sometimes it is proof that you refuse to give up. Some of the happiest people you know today are people who once thought their life was over, and yet they rebuilt slowly, painfully, imperfectly, but they rebuilt. And maybe you will too. Thank you for listening to the Victor Grower Human Experience podcast. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone going through a difficult transition right now. And in the comments, tell me what's one thing in your life you had to start over from. I will see you in the next.
Thank you for joining the Victor Okorowa Human Experience podcast. I hope today's story touched your heart, challenged your perspective, or reminded you of the power of our shared human journey. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and join in again next time as we explore more stories that shape the way we see the world. Your host, Victor Korua, and until we meet again, keep living, keep learning, and keep embracing the human experience.